Tomorrow night, dropping down to 83. Partly sunny Thursday with a slight chance of a thunderstorm. It will be breezy, warming up to 100 degrees. I'm Tim Livingston from the KFNX Weather Bug Weather Center.
Currently, in downtown Phoenix, it's 102 degrees.
Next news in 30 minutes or when it breaks. Here on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
It's summertime in Arizona, and the heat is on at Camelback Toyota. This is Shoeshine Mike. Come on down and see our new cars, used cars. We have new 2017 Toyota Camrys, 2017 Toyota Corollas, RAV4s, 2017 Tacoma trucks, Highlanders, SUVs. We've got them all. And our top-of-the-line service department has the quick repair body shop for minor mishaps. Our goal is to be our customers' champion. Stop by soon and let's exceed your expectations. So let's go places. It's Camelback Toyota, just around the corner at 16th Street in Camelback. And come to us on CamelbackToyota.com to find the car of your choice and your dreams. Customer satisfaction is always numero uno here at Camelback Toyota. Once again, you can visit us at CamelbackToyota.com to find the car of your choice and your dreams. Come on down to 16th Street in Camelback and listen to the Shoeshine Mike Radio Hour every Friday at 11 a.m. here on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
The Del Walmsley Show, weekdays at 2 p.m.
Why do I bother? Because what I want you to understand is you can do something about your situation, where you are, what you can do, how you can isolate and insulate yourself from all of this political and financial garbage that goes on out there.
The Del Walmsley Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. Everything you need to know about finance and real estate. For more information, mypassiveincomesystem.com. mypassiveincomesystem.com.
There is a fifth dimension, beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone.
Welcome to the Reality Check. I'm Ben Shannerman here with you every Tuesday at 9 p.m. on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX. Yes, I am stuck in the middle with you. California, the place with no plastic grocery bags unless you pay extra for them. New York, a license must be purchased before you hang your clothes on a clothesline. California, the only time you can throw a frisbee on the beach in Los Angeles County is if you have permission for a lifeguard. New York has 12 different languages used for a driver's license exam. California, animals are banned from mating publicly within 1,500 feet of a tavern, school, or place of worship. In New York, they want to put LED light shows on the New York bridges. California and Ventura County, cats and dogs are not allowed to you-know-what without a permit. New York, no selfies with tigers. California, all persons wishing to keep a rhinoceros as a pet must obtain a $100 license. New York, Anthony Weiner. Anthony Weiner. California, women may not drive in a housecoat. New York, it's illegal for two or more masked people or people wearing masks to congregate in a public place. So I guess no hockey or Halloween in New York. California, no toys in kids' meals unless the food meets nutritional requirements. New York, sanctuary cities. California, Maxine Waters. New York, crumbling infrastructure, roads, bridges. California, sanctuary cities. New York, lack of jobs. California, where your monthly house payment exceeds your annual income. New York, outrageous parking fines. California, your monthly house payment, oh, wait, did that one already? That's how bad it is. It does exceed your annual income. But in California, they spend more money on facelifts than they do diapers. New York, it's illegal to wear your slippers after 10 p.m. In California, there are, count it, 32 different languages used on the driver's exam. New York, Bill de Blasio doesn't have certain people fingerprinted when they are arrested. California, drug felons on welfare. New York, most lawmakers in the country arrested. They lead any other state. California, well over $5 million in taxpayer funds set aside for abortions. New York, fining people $1,000 to $7,500 for simply posting an available rental that is not 30 days or more. You know, America is the strong arm of the world. On the left and on the right, on the left we have California, on the right we have New York. They're like the scabs of the body politic. Everyone else is stuck in the middle, held hostage by the poor politics. Just look at Hillary Clinton. She hightailed out of Arkansas to go to New York. She is one of the biggest scabs in America. Can you believe this human excuse is still blaming others?
The overriding issue that affected the election that I had any control over, because I had no control over the Russians. Too bad about that, but we'll talk about it, I hope, was the way that the use of my email account was turned into, you know, the biggest scandal since Lord knows when. And, you know, in the book, I'm just using everything that anybody else said about it besides me to basically said this was the biggest nothing burger ever.
So let me say this in my best Herm Edwards voice. You had an illegal server and you sent classified material. You destroyed evidence. Hello, you had an illegal server and you sent classified material. You just don't make up your own rules. That's the great thing about the USA. We have laws, and I don't care if you don't have any morals. You still have to follow the laws. When you start telling me it doesn't matter, then go to jail. Go, because it does matter. Hillary Clinton is blaming Bernie these days. She is actually crying about running against one candidate in an election that was rigged for her, saying this gave Trump, who ran against 10 candidates and almost no party support, an advantage. Again, Hillary Clinton blaming others. If it wasn't every scandal she had, from Benghazi to emails to getting fired when she was on Whitewater, here it is, Hillary Clinton blaming everybody. Speaking of Hillary Clinton more, if you know the Reverend Bill Shalady, that's Hillary Clinton's spiritual advisor, and you guys thought she had no spirit. You know better now. Hillary's got a lot of spirit. And Reverend Bill recently had his book pulled, the book called Strong for a Moment Like This, The Daily Devotions of Hillary Rodham Clinton. It was pulled off of shelves because of plagiarism. Another friend of Hillary Clinton, another successful con game. As you see, when it comes to Hillary Clinton, it's always a con game. You know, here's some irony for you. Cecile Richards, president of Planned Parenthood, sent out a fundraising email on Tuesday about President Trump's decision to end the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, DACA, program, which allows certain illegal aliens who had arrived in this country illegally, that's why they're legal aliens, as minors, the ability to remain without risk of deportation. The abortion giant's leader said, "Here at Planned Parenthood, we firmly believe that every person has the right to live, work, and raise a family freely and without the threat of deportation of separation." That is such a great line, that they believe firmly each person has the right to live. That's kind of interesting because they don't believe that people have the right to live. That is, people in the womb, they believe not at all that they have the right to live. Sad but true. in the case of more fraud coming from your buddies at the left. You know, I always thought it's weird how the American media makes Vicente Fox out to be a hero. Here's a guy who oversaw the deaths of over 60,000 of his own people, from him not being able to control crime to them pushing their agenda of just having people come across and dying in the heat because they refuse to take care of their own citizens. But that's the American media for you. Trump and Sessions, very disappointing that they refused to consider a prosecution for Lois Lerner. You know, the IRS fraud, who targeted certain groups based on their political beliefs. Very disgusting, in fact. You know, Trump and Sessions are supposed to be draining the swamp. But with decisions like that, are they draining the swamp or are they filling the swamp? I say that if you're not draining it, you're pretty much filling it. Pretty sad, but true. I'm Ben Shenneman, host of The Reality Check. When we return, we'll talk about Charles's story. You can email me at therealitycheck@usa.com.
The business highway is full of potholes, speed bumps, hairpin curves, and missed turns. And there aren't any signs saying rough road ahead. If the day-to-day running of your company is turning into a turnpike of troubles, be listening for answers with the Great American Business Guru. Thursday afternoons at 3. Host Gerald Harris gives practical advice, solid information, and insightful suggestions to not only keep your business afloat, but take you to the next level of success. Call in with questions, get the answers you need. The Great American Business Guru. Thursdays at 3, 1100 KFNX.
Are you a small business owner? Are you tired of spending money on advertising that just ends up with your ad being buried among other ads? Big Dog Promotions was created with you in mind. Big Dog Promotions was developed to help you, the small business owner, achieve your advertising goals without having to chase leads yourself or put yourself in financial ruin wasting money on ineffective advertising. Big Dog Promotions specializes in helping you achieve your advertising goals without breaking the bank. Call them today at 602-292-2091 or visit them online at bigdogpromotions.com.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
There are lots of good reasons to take a good quality multivitamin. Even the best eating plans can fall short of meeting all of the necessary nutrients you need each day. Emerald Laboratories offers different multivitamin formulas with specialty men's, women's, and prenatal formulas to meet individual needs. Each formula contains coenzyme activated forms of B2, B6, and folic acid, Albion minerals, the gold standard in mineral chelates, vitamin K as MK7, and full spectrum mixed tocopherols, tocotrienols, and carotenoids. Folic acid is one of the standout nutrients in these formulas. 46% of the U.S. population does not process folic acid properly, putting them at greater risk for premature heart attack and stroke, depression, and even schizophrenia. Taking a once daily multivitamin is an easy way to fill in small nutritional gaps. Learn more about Emerald Laboratories' science-based multivitamin formulas by going to ultralaboratories.com. That's ultralaboratories.com.
You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to outer space. Please Stand by.
Welcome back to the Reality Check. I'm Ben Shenneman here with you every Tuesday at 9 p.m. on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. If you missed the first segment, we talked about the strong arm of America and how New York and California, with all their ridiculous policies and laws and criminal activity they condone, leave us stuck and being in the center, the strong arm of the body politic, and they are the scabs. You also miss weak excuses of Hillary Clinton. Not like that's anything new, because most of her excuses are weak. We're going to be all over the place tonight, just like Lena Dunham. One thing I want to say locally here, I'm sure most people know Sal DiCiccio. He's the best politician around. This guy, Phoenix councilman, pushing for financial accountability. I mean, if you ever follow him on Twitter, on Facebook, I'm giving him a plug, but this guy is awesome. He's always fighting for everything that's good for us. He's involved in the current lawsuit that's going on against the colleges of Arizona. Mark Brenovich actually suing him, which is a good thing because the tuition rates have skyrocketed. And if you read, the whole point is that college is supposed to be close to as free as it could be for the local residents of Arizona, the Arizona colleges. And the big three here have risen in price so much. And we know with ASU what the deal is. It's not spending money on the football field, because we saw that defense, how bad it was. With ASU, it's all the real estate to keep on buying. And they have no money for the students, but they have every day new money for a new building. If you look around town and you see how much they own, you wouldn't know they were a college. But, I guess I'll digress from that. So I promised you guys in this segment we were going to talk about Charles. So, Charles arrived in Boston in November of 1903 aboard the SS Vancouver. He gambled away most of his money on the voyage to America, and it left him with only, $2.50 in cash and $1 million in hopes. These hopes never left him. The young immigrant had lots of charisma and confidence. Charles started out working odd jobs, including as a dishwasher in a restaurant. In 1907, he moved to Montreal, where he found a job as a bank teller. And the bank catered to Italian immigrant population that was just moving in, and they charged high interest rates. They were pretty much taking advantage of them. When the bank went bankrupt because of bad loans, Charles was left penniless. He later was sentenced to 3 years in a Quebec prison when he was caught forging a bad check. Rather than tell his mom in Italy that he was in prison, he would write her letters telling her how he worked in the Canadian prison. When he was released from jail, Charles got involved in yet another criminal venture, smuggling Italian immigrants across the border into the United States. This too landed poor Charles in jail. He spent 2 years behind bars in Atlanta. Charles then returned to Boston, where he married in 1918. He worked various jobs, including his father-in-law's grocery store, but none of these positions lasted long. Charles, you see, had $1 million hopes. Charles one day received a letter in the mail from a company in Spain that contained international relay coupon. It's a coupon that could be exchanged for a number of priority mail postage stamps from other countries. Charles realized that he could turn a profit by buying these reply coupons in one country and exchanging them for more expensive stamps in another. Charles' racket worked like this. He would send money to agents working for him in other countries who would buy these IRCs, send them back to the United States. Charles would then exchange the IRC for stamps that were worth more than what he paid for and sell them and make a profit. Charles reportedly made over 400% on some of his sales. Charles, $1 million dreams, not satisfied with running a profitable scheme on his own, Charles began to seek investors to turn even higher profits. He promises investors outrageous returns of 50% in 45 days, 100% in 90 days. Charles paid these investors using money from other investors rather than actual profit. Charles's manipulation made him very rich. He bought a mansion in Lexington, Massachusetts with air conditioning and a heated pool. Top of the line back then. He at one point was reportedly making $250,000 a day. Charles' scheme began to unravel in 1920 when the Boston Post began to investigate his returns. The investigation set off a run on Charles' company. When investors tried to pull their money out of it, Charles ended up being arrested on August 12th of 1920 and charged with 86 counts of mail fraud, owing an estimated $7 million. He pled guilty to mail fraud and subsequently spent 14 years in jail. Poor Charles. On to a more modern story. The FBI and Energy Department Inspector General's office executed a search warrant in Fremont, California, at the headquarters of solar panel maker Solyndra. The raid came just 2 days after the company declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy, a move that raised serious concerns about the Obama administration granting of a $500 million plus federal loan guarantee to Solyndra in the fall of 2009. FBI Public Affairs Specialist Peter Deely confirmed that the company's headquarters had been targeted, adding the raid was still underway late Thursday morning. Lee said he was unable to disclose further details about the FBI and the Energy Department raid, but he was hoping to find out more. Solyndra, a manufacturer of solar power systems for rooftop applications on commercial buildings, the company said in a press release that the global economic and solar industry markets conditions had forced it to suspend its manufacturing operations. The company had laid off its 1,100 full-time and temporary employees. Despite strong growth in the first half of 2011 and traction in North America with a number of orders for very large commercial rooftops, Solyndra could not achieve full-scale operation rapidly enough to compete in the near term with the resources of larger foreign manufacturers. Solyndra was one of about 40 alternative energy projects that were funded over the last few years from the Energy Department loan program that helped companies involved with major wind, solar, nuclear, and ethanol projects. At the time, the Energy Department said that it expected the combined projects to create about 60,000 jobs. Solyndra had the Obama connection. Not only had it visited the plant, but it was also backed by Tulsa billionaire George Kaiser, a key supporter and bundler of the former President Obama. Whatever happened to this investigation? Why did the FBI take all the records and make no arrests? The money was gone. The taxpayer was holding the empty bag. There's no difference between Solyndra, then Enron, Bernie Madoff, and, of course, recently, talk show host Craig Carton. When it comes to Solyndra, Charles, you know, the guy that I was talking about from the last story, he would have been really proud of him. Did I forget to mention that Charles was better known as Mr. Ponzi? That's right, Mr. Ponzi himself. He would have been really proud of Solyndra. You know, really proud of Solyndra. Still, no arrest from that. As we see in a lot of these crimes that are perpetrated against, no arrest. So America's great again. The median income rises to the highest on record. Wall Street is up $2 trillion since Trump's been around. The border battle for the wall begins, they say. Hopefully we can get some progress on it. And there's actually some hope in the White House. Hope Hicks was just named the in charge of the communications for the White House. So congratulations to her. Apple today obviously came out with the $1,000 iPhone X, and they'll say it's $999.99, but after tax, it'll be over $1,000. And when they try to upload some new technology to it and it breaks, that's about how much you'll be out of. Sorry, but I don't support companies who don't back their own product, and they download stuff and break your phone, and then they take no responsibility. Pretty sad. Of course, we've all seen the sad pictures of the looters. Hopefully, they are arrested and prosecuted fully. It would be nice to see some of these people go to jail. But of course, you have people out in the media saying that the crackdown on the Florida looters is, of course, white supremacy. I don't know how, but whatever happened to good old Brian West, our local reporter from NBC, who was there and didn't know anything. The good reporter was on scene when a statue got defaced. Still waiting for a response from the police to see if he will get arrested or not. Hillary Clinton looking for some voodoo dolls for Congress and the media. She's getting crazier by the day. If it's not an excuse, or blaming somebody else. UK government denies compensation to a 14-year-old girl gang raped by Muslims, says she consented. Yeah, That's why we live in America, because we don't put up with stuff like that. 14-year-old girls, they just don't give their consent. Sorry. Not legally, anyway. The Texas professor, who actually said he'd be okay if our Education Secretary DeVos was sexually assaulted, he resigned. And that's good news right there, because we do not need anybody that's that trashy. Sorry. I hear the Portland police are purging their gang database because there aren't enough white gangs, and that wouldn't be fair. They'd be discriminating, right? That's good to know. Thank goodness. Just the other day I was at my kid's daycare, and we were just waiting there, and I heard kind of the funniest conversation there. And one kid was saying to the other, I can't wait till my uncle gets home. And the other kid says, nobody cares. And the other kid goes back and my uncle will beat you up. And then the other kid goes, I'll sue him. And then he goes, first kid goes, you can't sue my uncle. He's too big and strong. I love listening to kids' conversations. It's kind of like an old school and a new school there. You have the old school and then the new school where everything's sue. Old school beats you up, new school sue. I'm Ben Shannerman, host of The Reality Check. When we return, we will review UFC 215. I do not shy away from my predictions. You can email me at therealitycheck@usa.com.
Where the truth lives. Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. Listen to Independent Talk 1100 KFNX streaming live at 1100KFNX.com.
In Florida, the death toll from Hurricane Irma has risen to 12, with millions of people still without power. Coast Guard Captain Holly Najarian tells how long it may take to recover.
Right now, we're still in assessment phase, particularly in those areas that were hardest hit, like Key West, Charleston, Jacksonville, and some parts of Miami. So it's really hard to determine how long it will take and how long it will take the right people to get to where it's needed, because we're still in that assessment phase.
A suspect has been arrested in the fatal shooting of his mother, a patient in the intensive care unit of Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center in New Hampshire. State Attorney General Gordon McDonald says Travis Fink will be arraigned Wednesday.
The crime scene is still being investigated, but I can report that more than one shot was fired. No other patients, visitors, or staff were physically injured as a result of the incident.
Ahead of Wednesday's opening bell on Wall Street, Dow futures down 12. I'm Elliot Francis.
From the KFNX WeatherBug Weather Center for tonight, clear skies, low 85, mostly sunny and 106 on your Wednesday. Mostly clear tomorrow night, dropping down to 83. Partly sunny Thursday with a slight chance of a thunderstorm. It will be breezy, warming up to 100 degrees. I'm Tim Livingston from the KFNX WeatherBug Weather Center.
Currently in downtown Phoenix, it's 100 degrees.
Next news in 30 minutes or when it breaks. Here on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
A storm is brewing in the Valley of the Sun. Join Sun Devil football September 23rd when the Maroon Monsoon rolls into Sun Devil Stadium. The Sun Devils open Pac-12 play against the Oregon Ducks in a North versus South matchup. Arrive early, wear maroon, and be Sun Devil tough. Tickets start at just $35. Get your tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to thesundevils.com. Go Devils, go!
At St. Vincent de Paul, thanks to our volunteers and supporters, we feed, we clothe, we house, we heal. Not just Thanksgiving and Christmas, but 365 days a year. Amazing things happen when you show up at St. Vincent de Paul and at the Dream Center. Contact us at 602-266-HOPE. That's 602-266-4673.
The most dangerous day for a baby is the first day of life. Babies born in poverty zones are dying from infections, pneumonia, malnutrition, but they don't have to die. For nearly 60 years, Project Hope has been working around the world, training local healthcare workers, delivering medicines and medical supplies, giving newborns the healthy start they need to survive and thrive. Make sure her first day of life is not her last. To volunteer or learn more about Project Hope, visit projecthope.org.
I'm Francis Battaglia, president of Independent Talk 1100 KFNX, and we're expanding our lineup of local talk shows. We're looking for individuals, business owners, and professionals to host their own radio talk show. This would be a new weekly show that either you pay for or help get sponsors to fund your show. You would pick the topics, select guests, and take calls from the listening audience. There is no experience necessary, and we provide training. Call me at 602-277-1100, extension 1463, 602-277-1100, extension 1463.
Think the air in your home is clean and safe? Does your home have peeling paint or wallpaper, window condensation, or worse, mold? Recent studies show that over 50% of all homes in these noticeable signs of excess indoor humidity and poor indoor air quality. Today's homes trap harmful pollutants and excess humidity. A whole house ventilation system by Brown provides the needed fresh airflow to ensure a healthy, safe indoor environment for you and your family. Call AZ Healthy Home today at 480-471-011 to schedule a consultation and be on your way to a healthier, cleaner home.
You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to outer space. Please stand by.
Welcome back to the Reality Check. I'm Ben Shenneman here with you every Tuesday at 9 p.m. on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX. If you joined us just now, then you missed the first two segments. Naughty on you. Last segment, we talked about good old Charles Ponzi and the modern-day Ponzi scheme like Solandra. We were rando, kind of like Lena Dunham. Next up, we have to go over, I cannot hide from my poor predictions, we have to go over UFC 215. So we had added to the card was the Cuerdo Reyes fight, and of course, Henry smoked him. Second round. That was good. But as far as the main card, so the first fight, I picked Gil Melendez. That wasn't a good pick. Jeremy Stevens came out, and he looked really good, and he kicked a blank out of his leg. Oh, my goodness. Gilbert, do you understand what a check kick is? Please check one someday. Man, Jeremy Stevens looked really good, though. That's the best he's looked in probably a few years. Maybe it's the excitement of getting married. Who knows? But good for him. I mean, I like him. And he beat Gil Melendez. Next fight, the Latifi fight. He was just too much physically for Tyson Pedro. Pedro looked decent, but Latifi was just too much. All over him, smothering him. The power totally got to him. He won by decision. It's a good win for him. Tyson Pedro drops now to 6-1. That's 0-2 for me on the night there. The only one I had a chance of winning could have been that Mighty Mouse fight, and they canceled that one. But we'll talk about that in a minute. So next we had the welterweight fight with Neil Magny against Rafael Dos Anjos. And that was a round one, arm triangle. Dos Anjos, he looks in shape. He looks kind of healthier now, and he's changed training camps, so maybe he's now back to what got him a belt at lightweight. He definitely looked a lot more fluid. I wouldn't say he's ready for a title shot. I know they were kind of preaching some of that. I don't think he's ready yet, but he's definitely a step in the right direction, dispatching Magny pretty quickly, and he looked really good. So good props to him, and thank goodness I got one on the night right there. So that would put me at 1-2 at that point. So before I talk about the main event, I'll talk about the former main event, which was Mighty Mouse Johnson versus Ray Borg. You heard it here on this show, right? What did I say? I said Borg missed weight twice in the last 4 fights, and it's interesting that DJ didn't want to fight Dillashaw for the same reason. And what happened? So Ray Borg was sick. But that was funny because the day before he was all over social media saying how healthy and great he was. So what do you get sick from? I'm sorry. Unless my sickness was a broken arm, I'd be fighting for the belt, I'm sure it was probably, he got sick. Yeah, he was trying to throw up the 4 cheeseburgers he ate before the fight. It's just embarrassing. Another cancellation so close. I don't know. This is your life, and these people always talk about how they don't get paid when they don't fight. They should be protecting that. It's their life. It's your life. That's your money. How come you're not protecting that? I don't know. That would just be my thought on the matter. So now we go to the new main event, which was Amanda Nunes versus Valentina Shevchenko. Split decision win for Amanda Nunes. Obviously, another one I lost, so that put me at 1-3 at the night. Yeah, that was the worst UFC for for me in a long time. It was a competitive fight. You saw it was interesting. The first round, I don't know if Shevchenko was affected by her finger. I saw that she dislocated her finger, it looked like, and they snapped it back in the corner. And then she came out second round and looked good. So it was like 1-1 after 2. And then Nunes forced the pace in the third round. And then Valentina came back a little in the fourth round. And with the new scoring system that they adopted, the fifth round should easily been a 9-9 round. Because, I mean, Valentina, she was winning that round up to the point of where she tried to go for, when Nunes came in, she tried to go for the headlock and Nunes got behind her. And at that point, Nunes was just sitting on her, stalling. They were saying how better shape she was in and how great. I think Valentina made a mistake. She needed to push her more, because she was tiring out. She had top position and she did nothing. She just sat there and held her. It was like absolutely nothing. I mean, the crowd was there chanting, "Let's go Oilers." They were so annoyed with it. It was, and then later on in the fifth, when she was smart enough. Amanda Nunes fought smart. She took down Valentina, and from the bottom, Valentina was actually doing more. She hit her with like 4 shots in a row from the bottom. But, it always looks good for the judges when you have top position. But in any sense, it should have been a 9-9 round. To me, Valentina didn't do enough to get the belt. So in the end of the day, even if it was a draw or the way it turned out where they gave it to Nunes, it still wouldn't have been enough for her to take the title. Pretty sad. I think kind of like, to me, it's almost like the same as when Frankie Edgar, the second time he fought Jose Aldo, he kind of was just a little hesitant. When he felt him out before, you got to go for it. Go for that kill. You've taken everything they can land, and it hasn't knocked you out. So just go for it, You already knew what the outcome of the first one was. And, as the challenger, you actually have to beat the champ. To sit there and hope for a decision, it's just not smart business. You have to go in there and take it, And if you get caught the second time, then you did. At least you can go down knowing you went down with all your, with all your weapons. You tried. You did that. It's pretty, I think she'll look back and regret that, Valentina, because she's pretty much almost got nowhere to go from here, because they're not going to give her another fight with Nunes for at least a year. So she's probably going to have to fight 2 other people, which she can beat anybody else in the division. And now for the women, it's kind of all 3 women's divisions are, I don't know, there's not really many places to go. I mean, who's fighting Cyborg? Is Nunes going to step up and fight Cyborg? I doubt it. I'm sure she'll get real sick real quick if she has to fight Nunes. But, that's just my opinions on that. UFC 216 comes up October 7th. Sadly, no UFC party for me, but I get to spend a good night, and it should be a great night, with the kids at Monster Jam that night. So Monster Jam's coming to town. So disappointing that they don't have the doggy trucks like Scooby-Doo and Monster Mutt Dalmatian, because my kids love those so much. But they do have some of their other favorites. No Zombie as well. That was kind of upsetting. So if you're listening, Monster Jam people, we'd like to see Zombie and maybe Scooby-Doo. You can get rid of some of those other trucks that we don't like as much. Just saying. Did you see the Muslim scholar college student was in court the other day, and she was attacked on the subway by drunken Trump supporters? Well, it was interesting. She took a plea deal. Why would she take a plea deal? Well, we know why. Because she lied about it. Another good person from the religion of peace. A lie. But, everybody tells the truth when you're on one side. Hillary Clinton uses Charlottesville victim's death to promote her new book tour. Are we surprised at all? I mean, really? If you saw a caterpillar on the ground and somebody told you that Hillary Clinton was missing, would you pick up that caterpillar and look underneath it to find Hillary Clinton? Might be your only place to find her. Or she might even be underground more, because she is so low class. It's embarrassing. Speaking of low class, Obama's favorite White House guest, Al Sharptongue. Cute. His awesome law-abiding citizen daughter got arrested on her 30th birthday for a fight with a New York cab city driver. Good thing we have Al Sharptongue and his daughter to help us out. One thing I want to know is, can we ask the question? Can we ask the question, do you need food stamps when you have a $500 phone and a nice car? Do you really need them? Can you just let the people who need them have them? You know, if I had a dream job that obviously wasn't me being an athlete, me being a millionaire, you know, just another dream job. Like if I could do a job, it wasn't really money-based, but for some satisfaction, I would love to go around and catch all these frauds. Bad parents, people that milk the system. I would love to do that. I would love to catch these people in it. You go around and you see so many people. They got money for Nikes. They got money for a diamond ring that looks bigger than the tennis ball my kids were throwing around the other day. But yet they pull out a food stamp card. But yet you'll hear, oh, they're going through rough times now. You know, any time in my life I went through rough times, I sold something. You know, when I had no money and my car broke, I sold anything I could to get it fixed. When I didn't really have much money to eat, I charged it on a credit card and I ate what I could afford, whether it was chips, I cut down on eating, whatnot, and thank God I never got that desperate. But if I did, I'd go to the food bank. One more segment to go. You're listening to Ben Shanneman, host of the Reality Check. When we return for our final segment, we'll talk about the New York unions striking again. You're listening to the Reality Check on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
I have the answer. Are you one of the Americans whose real spendable income has declined 5%? Are you now feeling the slow financial drain? I have the answer. Enjoy the same high-quality lifestyle services you now have and pay less of your money for them. I told you, I have the answer. Every sharp person understands the value of making the deal. You need to step up to the plate. You need to make the deal. Resources are now available for you. Starting to believe? I have the answer. Successful Americans are now increasing their income by using changing legislation and technology expediently. Proof? The world's largest retailer doesn't have a single storefront. I have the answer. Cut expenses and increase income. Call 317-934-0079. 317-934-0079. I have the answer. 317-934-0079.
Get your political fix here on the Talkin' One Rockin' Radio Show, Saturday nights from 7 to 10 p.m. on KFNX 1100, the purest, most potent political talk. The Talkin' One Rockin' Radio Show.
Are you tired of dealing with chronic joint and back pain? Stem Cells of Arizona is the answer to your pain. We have had a 98% success rate managing and removing chronic pain. We are using stem cells that replace damaged, inflamed, and painful tissue with fresh, new, healthy tissue. Stem Cells of Arizona is located at 15425 North Greenway, Hayden Loop, Suite A200. Call 480-247-8660. That's 480-247-8660 for your free consultation.
Would you like to come on my radio show and talk about what you do? I'm Carol Blonder, the host of Networking Arizona. I created a show where you can get yourself heard by thousands of listeners. You also get a podcast of the show so you can put it on your website. Heard Tuesdays and Fridays from 3 to 5 p.m. It's a drive time, prime time show. Call me and book your spot at 602-228-4629. Get the word out about what you do. Visit my website, networkingarizona.net.
Hi, Rick and Dave here. The Elton Brothers on KFNX. Have you ever pulled in front of a listing, can't get a hold of anyone, and just wanted more info and photos? That's so annoying. Well, we have an app for you. Simply text Elton to 32323. It's completely free and downloads right to your mobile device. So any real estate sign across the valley. Text Elton to 32323 and get all the MLS info right to your phone. Immediately. The Elton Brothers, putting real estate in the palm of your hand.
Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. 1100 KFNX.
Have brunch with me, Shoeshine Mike, Fridays from 11 to noon here on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX, sponsored by Camelback Toyota. It's a fresh take on news, pop culture and sports, and events about the Valley. The Shoeshine Mike Radio Hour, Fridays from 11 a.m. to noon. Have dessert first.
You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to outer space. Please stand by.
Welcome back to the Reality Check. Your host, Ben Shanneman here. Take you through the rest of this hour. We're on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX. If you missed the last segment, you missed my poor UFC 215 prediction review. What else can I say? At least I'm honest about it and don't change the tape and hide it, right? Like some local sports people. So there's a war going on in New York. I'll start back in there. Airbnb, a lot of people know about. My wife was smart enough to book our first Airbnb on the last trip we went to California. Worked out very nice. Has a lot of advantages, especially for us because we have a bunch of kids. But as I explained before, one of the crazy things about New York is you can get fined if you place something for rental that's not at least 30 days. So obviously, New York Cuomo, our great person, best ever, he passed a law to basically destroy Airbnb in New York, because if you post these ads, you'll get fined anywhere from $1,000 to $7,500. So the campaign, of course, is backed by, surprisingly shocking, Hotel Association of New York City, hotel unions. And so they put a little ad, and it was, "Who's in your building?" And this ad, I mean, Alanis Morissette's Ironic comes to mind. Let me tell you. It says, "We still remain the #1 terrorist target in the world." There are 40,000 listings, and Airbnb allows illegal listings on their site and refuses to hand over the addresses to the law enforcement. This ad goes on to say, "Are you at risk?" Manchester, UK police raided a short-term rental that bomber Salman al-Bedi rented through a local online realtor. Okay, I'm not really sure what this has to do with anything, but it's in their ad. I kind of see they're trying to stretch there. It says, "Massive packages sent to terror raid flat prior to Manchester bombing." So they don't have any other examples, same one. So it says, "Cities are taking a stand, forcing Airbnb to provide addresses for their listings." San Francisco, Chicago, New Orleans. I'll let New Orleans slide here, but not shocking, San Francisco, right? And Chicago, two of the most crime-ridden places in America. They want to know who's in your building. Sad, huh? It's amazing how they're worried about your security. Local unions and the government of New York are worried about your security. Same people who have sanctuary cities and hire illegals, who sometimes are illegals because they're skirting the law. I know, I'm racist, xenophobe, whatever you want to call me, but it's a fact. Look it up. Now, these people care about your security. When it comes to someone else making a buck, they care about your security. They didn't give a damn any other time when it would cost them a penny. When the union might not get as many memberships, they cared. Wasn't the union there to support the American worker? How far that has fallen. The original union, people who started that are probably rolling over in their grave, right? Because that's pretty not what the unions were started for. Pretty sad. I'll get on. That one's really, we could expect that from New York. Sad but true. The dumb get dumber. Was it Jennifer Lawrence who said that Trump winning caused hurricanes? As dumb as can be. I'm sure she's friends with good old Sheila Jackson Lee. Remember her? Great things like homicide is the leading cause of murder. There's a winner. Or Sheila Jackson Lee. She was the one who's she couldn't find the American flag on Mars. Oh man! I mean, friends of Maxine Waters. What can you do with these people? It's crazy. If they didn't have a job in politics, they'd probably be homeless. And anybody ever think of? We know Obamacare has many problems, but one problem that goes untold is another way Obamacare affects you not being able to better your life. Let's say you're working at a job. Yeah, I know. People don't want to work jobs. But let's say you just want to be a fool and get a job. So you're trying to better your life and get a better job, right? That's what most people do that get jobs. You want to get a better job, make more money. And can you do that with Obamacare? How would that hinder you? Well, it would hinder you because if you go to another job, you're not going to have insurance for a while, right? And then you get penalized. So you get penalized for trying to step up in life and earn more money. So another way Obamacare hinders you. And all the libs will say, oh, well, you can get COBRA coverage in this. Have you ever seen the price of that stuff? I mean, you're already paying $400 a month, even more for a family to insure. And COBRA, that triples or quadruples. So now you're going to be starting a new job and you're going to pay quadruple the healthcare insurance. So not only do you not get any of the more money you were going to see at your new job, you'll actually be getting less until your insurance kicks in, which in some cases could be up to 90 days. But thank you, Obamacare, for making our lives more miserable. You know, another way that the disgusting Obamacare affects our lives and hurts us. Pretty sad. I wish Trump and Sessions would get on the ball and get some criminal charges against our favorite friends. You know, George Soros, criminal. Loretta Lynch, criminal. Hillary Clinton, criminal. And amongst many others. They all need to be locked up. You know, let's throw away the key. Do you see voter fraud alert in New Hampshire? 5,000 votes of people that had out-of-state driver's licenses. That was more than the difference of what Hillary Clinton actually won in that whole state. But you know what? They say voter fraud affects no one. Yeah, it doesn't affect anyone when you're on the side they're voting for. I would say 98% of dead people vote Democrat. I'm not talking about brain dead people. I'm talking about actually dead people. Check it out. That's why they don't want those voter rolls opened up, right? Remember a long time ago when the Dems were compassionate? They showed their compassion to the Dreamers. Remember little Elian Gonzalez? Right? They were showing compassion. It's a little bit over 30 years ago, the anniversary of the great Dr. Ben Carson, when he had the first successful operation to separate conjoined twins. Congratulations, Ben Carson. Any great accomplishments. You know that James Comey, when is he going to go to jail for all his fraud? Writing innocence before looking at the evidence. Leaking stuff. High crimes against the country. When will this fraud go to jail? When will Sessions and Trump step up and start prosecuting these people? It's the quickest way to get the criminals in jail. You know, we should taxes. Hopefully we get the tax reduction that we need, right? I'm a believer in consumption tax. That's kind of like you get your whole paycheck, and then you only get taxed when you buy things. So then the rich who buy more expensive stuff will get taxed more, and the people who don't have as much money will get taxed less. And that's important. That's what the thing everybody always say, the rich need to pay their fair share. Well, there you go. And then all the drug dealers and all the people that work illegally under the table, they'll be forced to pay tax because anytime they buy something, they'd pay tax. So that would increase the tax base, increase the money going in so we can lower the percentages. Let me tell you one thing that would be really important about that. When you flipped over to that, people who earn $1,000 a week and maybe get $750 because they pay that much in taxes. For those of you who don't, you'll see they'd be able to pay off a lot more debt because they'd get full paychecks. Thank you for joining us on the Reality Check. My name's Ben Shenneman. Join us here next Tuesday at 9 p.m. You're listening to Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX. Enjoy your week.